Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Newsroom series, where we catch you up to speed with what's happening around the country. Our focus today is the Southwest region, but first, in a grim reminder of the ongoing security challenges in Plateau State, another community has been targeted by deadly violence. More corpses have been recovered by the search team in Zike village. Kim Kapa of Kwali district, Basa local government area of Plateau State, bringing the death toll to 51 in the latest attack. Community leader Wakili Tongwe told Channels Television that the assailants stormed the village in the early hours of today, opening fire on residents as they tried to flee. According to Mr. Tongwe, he and a local vigilante team were patrolling a nearby community with some security personnel when the attackers struck. Although the security team eventually repelled the assailants, the toll was already devastating. 36 people were killed on the spot, with 4 others succumbing to their injuries later. Several victims are currently receiving treatment for gunshot wounds. This attack comes less than 2 weeks after a similar assault claimed the lives of 52 people in Bokos local government area. And in River State, we see women as tensions continue to rise as they take to the streets in dramatic fashion for the recent declaration of a state of emergency by President Bola Tinubu. A large group of women, all dressed in white, as you can see, marched through the streets of Port Harcourt from the Garrison flyover to Isaac Borough Park, holding placards with bold messages such as state of emergency is unconstitutional is constitutional, and we don't want Fubara. The protest was led by former River State Commissioner for Social Welfare, who voiced her support for Ibok Ete Ibas, calling on him to continue with what she describes as his good work in the state. Today's demonstration comes just 3 days after another group of women protested in opposition, decrying the suspension of Governor Simlai Fubara and the emergency declaration. While the pro-emergency rule protest was ongoing, another group of women took to the streets asking for the reinstatement of Governor Simlai Fubara of River State. A solidarity march broke out at the Imbiama in Ahoada West local government of River State. Women from Ahoada East and West converged, carrying placards condemning the state of emergency in the state and demanding the reinstatement of Governor Simlai Fubara. Some of the placards had inscriptions such as "Bring back Sim," "Widows are crying for Fubara," and "Save our democracy." And now to our focus region for today, which is the Southwest. The newly sworn-in chairman of Ayobo Ipaja local council development area, Mr. Ladi Oluwaloni, has declared zero tolerance against environmental law violators in the council. Mr. Oluwaloni, who was out for a cleanup exercise, says violators of indiscriminate dumping of refuse will be prosecuted when caught.
The newly sworn-in chairman of Ayobo Ipaja Local Council Development Area of Lagos is out for a cleanup exercise of the area alongside state environmental health officers and the Waste Management Authority. Mr. Oluwaloni leads by example, joining others to clean up the environment. It is also an opportunity to sensitize the public about indiscriminate dumping of refuse. As they move around the streets of Ayobo Ipaja LCDA, the Loma representative says everyone must ensure that Lagos is kept clean.
It's a very laudable effort, especially from the local governments. we know too well we cannot be far from the grassroots, and that's exactly what we are doing here. And mostly what we see is the indiscriminate dumping of refuse by people, but we need to reorientate our people and sensitize them. This is one of the major objectives that the chairman has led this exercise to do. And with LOMA, we believe with PSPs, we all need to collaborate and work together.
Community representatives as well as state environmental health officers commend the management of the LCDA for the cleanup exercise and also appeals to LOMA to pick up refuse promptly.
The council have done its own part of it, but the PSP operators, we have to beg them again. If they collect money, let them carry out the exercise. If you don't work, you cannot collect money. They believe in taking our people to court, sealing up their houses. If you don't collect the refuse, the owner of the house will carry the refuse to somewhere. In a way to prevent this now, that is why this exercise come up.
We just want to employ the community to please work in hand with us to prevent indiscriminate dumping of refuse on the median, and our PSP operators too, to please partner with the local government to ensure that we have a clean environment.
PSP operators, we have always been letting them know that whether people pay or not, let them pick their refuse. They should pick it and just show us the evidence that they have picked the refuse from these premises. Then we will do the enforcement. The people will pay.
The chairman warns residents of Ayobo community to patronize PSP operators and keep the environment clean.
All we are saying is that we should stop all this nonsense, because I don't see any reason why you would take a refuse from your home and drop it on the main road. This is absolutely wrong. This is absolutely not good. And it's not business as usual. Please, I want to implore you to stop all this. And we have promised Mr. Governor that we will not disappoint them. And this is part of what we are doing to make sure our environment is clean.
Residents of Ayobo Ikpaja community have been asked to obey all state laws and be ambassadors of proper hygiene and clean environment.
And in its quest towards food sufficiency and food security, the Ogun State government says it's begun the registration of farmers in the state, with about 160,000 farmers registered so far, who are to be linked to agriculture value chain, which includes aggregators, off-takers, and processors, to ensure an economy of scale. Now, the State Commissioner of Agriculture and Food Security revealed this during the first quarter of the 2025 press conference held at the ministry in Abeokuta, the state capital. While encouraging climate-smart techniques, he announced the procurement of 39 tractors for distribution to farmers for the new planting season, as well as the establishment of 4 agricultural transformation centers across the 4 zones of the state for modern agriculture practice.
His Excellency signed an MOU with RISIP for them to develop the special agro-processing zone for Ogun State, and they have earmarked $400 million for that. And you can see that infrastructural development has commenced earnest. Also, under this SAPZ, we are going to be building agri-transformation centers across the 4 zones of Ogun State. On that platform so far, we have registered over 160,000 farmers in Ogun State. We are not only stopping at farmers, we are also registering value chain actors, that is, processors, aggregators, service providers. His Excellency Prince Dr. Abiodun CON has been gracious enough to procure 39 tractors for Ogun State farmers. We are still waiting for some other equipment. We have about 4 harvesters delivered also already. We are still waiting for other equipment as well before we go ahead to distribute or to ensure that farmers have access to this heavy-duty equipment.
Meanwhile, the wife of the Ogun State Governor, Mrs. Bamidele Abiodun, has appealed to women to take advantage of the various health initiatives by the government to immunize their children against killer diseases in order to reduce maternal child mortality. She made the call in Abeokuta, the state capital, during a one-day enlightenment program on the introduction of measles and rubella vaccines. She affirmed that the MR vaccine is not only a life-saving intervention, but an investment in the future, as rollout for the immunization across the country is expected to begin in October.
The one-day awareness campaign is part of a community engagement and mobilization to ensure a successful rollout of the vaccines against measles and rubella, which the World Health Organization says is the leading cause of death among under 5 children.
It is hard to imagine that more than 60 years after measles vaccine was introduced, we're still experiencing outbreaks in our country. Even more concerning is the silent threat of rubella, a disease often masked by measles, but with devastating consequences. Rubella can lead to congenital rubella syndrome, which causes lifelong disabilities such as blindness, deafness, heart defects, and neurological challenges. The introduction of the combined measles rubella vaccine presents us with a powerful opportunity to prevent 2.8 million deaths in Nigeria and significantly reduce the global burden of these diseases.
It is our responsibility to ensure that every parent, every caregiver, every community member understands the importance of these vaccines. How can we effectively sensitize our community? It's through education like this, knowledge is power, by engagement of every family and every members of community.
I would like to reaffirm our support.
The representative of the World Health Organization, Adedamola Akintola, has reaffirmed the agency's commitment and support to ensure the success of the immunization exercise when it's eventually rolled out in October.
I want to urge all parents, guardians, and everyone present to please ensure that all their children get fully vaccinated. Let us work together to achieve high vaccination coverage and protect our communities from these preventable diseases. Also, I would like to say that the success of this initiative depends on every one of us present in this hall. Let us work together to create a healthier future for our children and communities.
According to the organizers, the campaign will be carried out across the 20 local government areas of the state.
A meeting of governors elected on the People's Democratic Party platform is underway in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital. The governors who arrived in Ibadan on Sunday are meeting 3 weeks after the Supreme Court returned Senator Samuel Anyanwu as the National Secretary of the party. The Apex Court had on March 21st set aside the decision of the Court of Appeal in Enugu delivered on December 20th, 2024, which had affirmed Mr. Anyanwu's removal as the National Secretary of the party. The next meeting of the party had also been postponed more than 3 times, a move that generated disagreements between the PDP governors, the National Working Committee, and the Board of Trustees. PDP has been grappling with internal conflict on both before and after the 2023 general elections, resulting in growing instability and division within the party. The leadership of the PDP Governors Forum made remarks during the opening stages before going into a closed-door session. The Oyo State government has made good its promise to compensate property owners affected by the construction of the Senator Rashidi Ladoja Circular Road as it commences payment of the first tranche of compensation to landowners. The first phase is to landowners whose land or houses were affected within Ajota to allow access of the project at a press conference. Commissioner for Lands and Housing, Mr. Williams Akin Fumilayo, noted that the state government has begun the payment of over 264 million naira to the first set of people affected by the project, noting that others will also be called upon soon as the payment is being made in tranches.
The Circular Road project is the longest stretch of road in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, connecting about 4 local government areas and creating a new link between Oyo and neighboring states of Osun and Ogun. The ambitious project, conceptualized over 2 decades ago, finally took form as Governor Seyi Makinde took charge. The road, covering over 100 kilometers, however, requires some tough decisions by government to achieve this dream. Houses on the right-of-way and setbacks have to go, while some personal and family lands also paid the price. Governor Makinde engaged those affected, promising that those with genuine claims would be compensated. This promise has come true as the government begins payment of compensation to those affected.
The circular road is of 4 segments. The first segment is from Lagos-Ibadan Expressway to Ife-Ibadan. The second segment is from Ife-Ibadan to Oyo-Ibadan. And the third segment is from Oyo-Ibadan Expressway to Abeokuta-Ibadan. While the last segment is from Abeokuta-Ibadan Expressway back to Lagos-Ibadan.
The commissioner adds that the government has also worked on compensations for property owners affected by the ongoing constructions of way bridges in Iseyin, Fapote, Ogbomosho Road and the intersection on Ibadan-Ife Ajia Airport Road with a spur to Amuloko.
Some are going to be compensated. The ones to be compensated are basically the ones that are going to be directly affected by the construction of the road. The one at the heart of the road passage are the ones that we are going to compensate the owners after enumeration and further administrative exercises. So I want to appreciate you for your understanding, for the support and the cooperation with the Oyo State government.
The executive assistant on security to Governor Makinde, CP Sunday Odukoya, retired, who is also the chairman of the monitoring committee on compensation for affected landowners in Ajota to Alago axis of Ibadan Circular Road, appreciates the property owners for their patience and cooperation during the verification exercise.
For this exercise, I think His Excellency Governor Seyi Makinde deserve a lot of thanks and praises that he said it is the person that everybody knows that whenever he says something, that is exactly what he's going to do. He said something about the compensation at the beginning. He even addressed them under the bridge when they came to the secretariat to protest. He asked them to just give a little time that they are all going to be compensated. And that compensation has come to reality. They came, they were so happy with the whole exercise.
Reacting, some of the beneficiaries expressed delight at the gesture, which they say has taken them out of misery.
I was totally amazed, in a distress, sadness, because all my 5 years in the service was gone like that. But today now, Seyi Makinde and his entourage, they have made me happy, and I was very happy today that he promised us that he's going to give us something, and he has fulfilled the promise. May all God be with him in Jesus' name.
If not Governor Seyi Makinde as somebody that has human feelings, so many governments have been passed. They used to make promises, but they will not fulfill it. But thank God that God Almighty has given us Seyi Makinde, that when he make a promise, he try to fulfill the promises.
The Circular Road project, when completed, would be the first motorway in Nigeria because of its configuration and would impact positively on the economy of the state.
Governor Seyi Makinde of Oyo State and the Minister of Arts, Culture and Creative Economy, Hannatu Musa Musawa, have commended Nigerian filmmaker Kunle Afolayan for his contributions to tourism and the creative economy of Oyo State, both of whom said this at the grand opening of Afolayan's Cap Film Village and Resort located in Oyo State.
About 4 years after filmmaker Kunle Afolayan broke the ground for a landmark filming location in Igbojai in Oyo State, the state's governor, Seyi Makinde, and other dignitaries, including the Minister of Arts, Culture and Creative Economy, Hannatu Musa Musawa, and some prominent Nollywood faces joined him for the grand opening of what today sits as the Cap Film Village and Resort. The village, which has been the location for 3 movies, Anikulapo, Rise of the Spectra, and Ijogbon, also boasts of a luxury resort, and the governor leads other dignitaries for a facility tour. Afterwards, Governor Makinde lauds the bravery of the multiple award-winning filmmaker for making such a huge investment in the state and promised to partner with him through the provision of amenities that will catalyze the success of the film village and resort.
From what I've seen here in terms of investments, we have to go over and beyond just trying to put a transformer here. I will talk to the Commissioner for Energy. It's going to be a 2-pronged approach. One, a mini grid, a solar mini grid will be relocated to this place. We committed to rehabilitating the road leading here to his access and improved connectivity.
The minister also pledges support from the federal government.
Already, we as a federal government have started working with the state governments to do a collaboration, a handshake, whereby we look at the different assets that each big, beautiful peculiarity and uniqueness that each state has, and to look at the assets in that and joining forces rather than working in silos, to see how we can bring this asset in a way that will really create the enabling environment for the industry to grow, but at the same time offer this economic expansion that we're all looking at.
Once, Afolayan explains that the project that sits on many hectares is a reflection of his passion for the art, and that 2 new seasons of the critically acclaimed Anikulapo series have recently been shot at the film village.
In the last 3 years, I think we've created employment for more than 10,000 people, directly, indirectly. And the economy of the environment, Babode, Komu, Igbojai, Otu, Okaka, Ikpapo, is saying all of these axes are generating revenue through this resort.
KAP Film Village and Resort, once an abstract idea, has now become a reality, an expansive hub dedicated to cultural expression, film production, creative excellence, and tourism.
Only place you have long life and prosperity by the...
And that's it on Newsroom series today. Thank you so much for watching. Mulumde Mukol.